Hello everybody, my name is Sniper and it's Fun, and I welcome you back yet again to another character I want to talk about in this series of videos for the Super Smash Bros. Fighter Ballot, and currently we are now strong number 5, I believe. Yeah, number 5 I'm talking about in terms of the Fire Emblem list of characters I want to talk about. Like I said back on number 40 with Sigurd, I was going to do 10 Fire Emblem characters in a row. The Fire Emblem part of this series. Just blow it out of the water with as many Fire Emblem character potential choices as possible from older games, newer games, whatever. I've so far done Sigurd, Elm, Ephraim, and Hector. I am now at number 5, and you should already know who the character technically is, because it's obviously in the video, the picture, blah, 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 blah. But I'm going now to Fire Emblem Thracia 776, which was released on the Super Famicom back in 1999. Wait, what? 1999? On the Super Famicom. Okay. This is the 5th game in the series, I believe. So it would be after the 2 Marth games, Alm's game, and I'm assuming Sigurd's game, which I think is number 4? Or wait, let me make sure here. Yeah, I think he's number 4, because the number 6 would be Roy. Okay, so this is the one that happens before Roy's game. This is the one that was released before Roy's game, which was about 3 years later. This would be the last Super Nintendo game in the series, and the character I'm talking about is Leif, and you're clearly seeing him right now in various pictures I put together for the video. On the right would be his DLC self from Awakening. The other 2 forms are artwork from the actual Thracia 776, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Thracia? Thracia? I don't know. But yeah, he's one of the main characters in that game, I believe. I think that game might have more than one main character, but he's basically one of the main characters of the game, one of the prince characters of the game. I don't know if he's the main lord though. He might be. So yeah, it's Leif, which right now you're seeing on the screen. Why should he be a potential Fire Emblem choice? For Smash Brothers. Well, I think his game did get well received as far as I'm looking it up, especially, like it says it got a 35 out of 40 on Famitsu. He is still relevant now in terms of DLC and Awakening. I think the character is fairly popular. The game is fairly well liked. And I think visually, like I've been mentioning, I'm talking about visual appearance too. I did the same thing with Ryoma from Fire Emblem If, and I've said the same thing with Sigurd a little bit, especially Alm and Ephraim, and decently Hector. And this is the big major thing I've been talking about for Fire Emblem characters, because it's instead of just because there's this stigma going around like for Fire Emblem. Blue-haired sword users, the stigma type of thing. So that's the reason why I kind of bring up looks as well. So at least, in terms of that appearance, Leif looks different. Brown hair, various, young boy, features. He's about the body size of like a Marth or a Roy. And he uses a sword. Now, moveset potential, this is where I never played the game, so I don't know exactly what he does, and I haven't got him as DLC in Awakening. So I'm not entirely sure. So people who have gotten this DLC or maybe hacked the game or downloaded it or whatever somehow, and played it, or any Japanese players here that might ever come across this video in the comment section, like how does Leif really fight? Because I really don't know. But basically, off the look of the character, the bad thing is, like I said, he's more original and more it seems more interesting in terms of popularity. Maybe a demand for the character, because I do think I've seen the character mentioned a little bit in terms of Fire Emblem potential choices, visually different, stuff like that. But in terms of moveset, all I'm seeing is Marth and Roy clone, Lucina clone. That's all I'm really seeing from him. Maybe he'd fight a little bit differently, but for him, I'm really seeing a very, very, very distinct clone. Now, Final Smash would obviously be different, but I mean, in terms of like moveset, I think it would be a little too much Roy, Marth, Lucina type of scenario. Like I didn't even really see that from Alm. Like Alm uses a sword, but I see visually he looks like he wields his sword a little bit different. Leif kind of reminds me of like a Roy type character. Now, does that mean how he fights? No, but in terms of my choices so far, at least in terms of moveset potential, I'm not really seeing it so much. But it could be there. But in terms of like popularity, I do think I see the game is fairly popular, the character is fairly popular, and there could be demand somewhere in terms of visual appearance. He's at least not a blue-haired sword user. He's just a brown-haired sword user. Ooh. But that's about it when it comes to Leif. Like, I can't really say much about the guy. It's like some of these characters I can talk about more than other characters, but a lot of these characters we never got to see really in America. We never got to see outside Japan, so I can't really say much about them. But in terms of him, like I think he'd be interesting enough. I am not against the guy, and that's about it. Like put in the comment section what you guys think. Do you guys think Leif from Fire Emblem Thracia 776, the 5th game in the series, the one before Roy's game, the one after Sigurd's game, the last Super Nintendo game, the old school character Leif, who's pretty much one of the main characters of that game, deserves to be in Smash Brothers? Or do you think he's too old, or maybe he needs a new game, or maybe he needs something to make him relevant again, even though technically there's the DLC in Awakening, and I'm sure there's going to be some sort of DLC in If, and he's probably going to be in there again, yada. Put in the comment section what you guys think. We'll discuss it there, and that's about it. My name is Time is Fun. Peace. Please subscribe if you want to. Have a nice day, and I'll see you in my next one. We're about halfway done, I think, now with the Fire Emblem characters, and we can finally get back onto other Nintendo and other third-party characters. Yay!